Okay, got our mock-up bar in place here, and as you can see, and I said that has to be trimmed to fit, but it's centered under the rear and right directly beneath the top one. Now on the front, show you what we done here, what we're going by here. So on the front, you have right here in line with the bar, the center, which is basically that grease zerk right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 2 1/4. So we want this down here to be 2 1/4. And in order to get that, what we got to do, we have 3 inches. So that means we take 3/4 of an inch off of each one of these. That'll give us our 2 1/4 from like so. And that will put the pivot point of the lower bar exactly the same place as the pivot point of the upper bar in relation to the bar. Now see, if you measure here, of course you're going to get 3 inches, and over here you get an inch, but you want to go by where the bar is right in the center, because that's what you're pivoting and what you're matching the other one up to. So cut all these 3/4 inch off of them and we'll be right. Now the back end I just got to trim out until it fits. I'll use my other paper template to get that figured out and trim those out. So that won't take much. And then getting the bar cut. My 29-inch length looks to be right if I trim those, because like I say, that will put me, see, that's why I've got it sticking under there, because yeah, that ends up putting me right with, because if you can see it right there, I don't know if you can see it, but the grease zerk is at 2 1/4. So that's perfect. Those are lined up, and that's what you want. So those lined up and the ones at the back end lined up, that puts the bars at equal length, even though the top bar is longer because it's angle. You want your bars equal length to keep your pinion angle from changing. So time to do a little whittling on some tabs and see if I can get this bars cut. Got a little freehand action here with the camera. So been working on this. I cut it out. I set this up here, drew around, cut it out. I'm still whittling on it with the grinder, trying to get a perfect fit for that. Still have this off. I'm going to cut this off so that I can turn this a little bit to where you can see the ABS, and then you can see the grease zerk. It won't be up against there where I'm going to weld. This part was relatively simple. Like I say, I just set this up here at halfway around, drew around it, well, you know, with it out of the way, drew around it, and then cut that with the plasma cutter. But the thing that's taking the time is you got to grind these ends, because the cutter can only cut so much. I mean, so you got to grind these ends to taper them. And yeah, it's getting pretty close. So that'll be how that fits. Now this is I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is 1/4 inch wall square tubing, because we're going to put our bag in the middle, or possibly even more to the front of the tubing, so we get good lift and a good ride quality. But right now I want to get my measurements and figure what I'm going to do. So to get 2 inches down to 1 1/4 inches, you got to take and find, of course, what we want to start with. So right here we want to take our 2 inches and we want to mark our 1 inch like so. And that's our center. Alright, so then you want to take your 1¼ inch and divide that in half. Okay. See, I was trying to look at the right mark, but I knew that wasn't 3/8 of an inch. It's 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so we want to go right here. And then our 1¼ inch mark is right here. So, we want to go, those marks right there. And then, let's take our little trimmed off piece here, make us a straight edge. We want to go and take that back to nothing, but we want to make it like a nice taper. So our nothing mark will be here. Okay. I need my light situated better. Alright, there's our nothing. There's our other part. Alright. Now, how I'm going to cut these, I have not yet decided. Probably the easiest thing would be to take the plasma cutter, but that on this rounded tubing, that's going to be tricky and may prove more difficult. Plus, it's raining, so I may do this with the cutoff wheel. Advantages is straighter cut. Disadvantages is it takes more time, but I think I can get a straighter cut and then cut the other over here, and I think that will be my best bet. So now I've got to do this. Now I know what I'm doing. I got to mark all 4 sides like this and then cut each corner. Alright, having camera issues. I just was trying to film cutting that and I don't think I got any of it. So anyway, cut off wheel, angle cut this way and then angle it this way so that when these come together they'll fit nicely together. Now I'm not sure, looking at this gap, it's looking like it's maybe a little bit much, but I'm trying to figure to get this to come out the width of this on all 4 sides should make it about right. Not, I'll weld them back together, weld up the gap. We'll do one and then see how that comes out and then do the other one. May not need that much, but anyway. That's what I'm doing now. Alright, so let's see. Y'all a little better view of this for a minute. We've got our 4 cuts in here, and what I'm going to do is place this in here. Now I have this piece of tubing that fits inside of here as well, and we're going to put this in the vise and squeeze it down until it fits on that. Then I'll be able to weld it. I'm going to take and squeeze these down right on the end to get a better bend. Alright, one side's trying to go more than the other. Maybe we should just hammer them in. Okay. About just make it come in enough to just weld the bung in directly. Yeah. In fact, we're just a little too small there. Okay, so the cuts like I made them, I miscalculated somehow, because this was supposed to come out the size for this to fit in. And oh wait, I see. It did come out the size of this on the outside. Now I know where I screwed up. Okay, but we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to go with that. What I want to do is make this fit in here. So we're not far off. I got a couple of options. Option one, I could grind the sides of this flat to where it'd go up in there, but that is going to be done because that's going to make my threads thinner. Don't want to do that. Option two is what I'm going to try here. I'm going to try to open that up enough to get this heavy wall, because this is the same diameter as my bung. So this scrap of heavy wall tubing that should not collapse easily. Spread that out just enough to get this in here, and then hammer this until it rounds this enough to where my bung will then slip in there. And I think that'll give me a nice fit. Once I get this rounded enough to where the bung will fit directly in here, then the shoulder of the bung will straighten it up. And I think that'll work out better than the sleeve that I was trying to do, because I was noticing with that there's no way to keep it straight. So, trial and error, as I said. We've erred, now let's trial something else. And that's going to be opening this up enough to get that in there by, let's see, that's clamping like that right there where I can see more what I'm doing. Can y'all see what I'm doing now? Kinda, sorta, yeah. Let's bring you up just a tad. Okay. So, like I say, I want to get this in here and then hammer him out till it fits. I could do that. There's one other option, and that would be to take a die grinder and round these out. But what I want to do is kind of, hopefully, round the flat sides. Yeah, round the flatness. Perfect. I just first got to figure out what I'm going to pry him open with. Claw hammer? Probably not. Don't need to go but a little bit. Do those. Stay still. Okay, is that enough to go yet? Not quite. Let's try something else here. All right. Now that I got that on there, we're going to see how good my metalworking skills are here. Like I say, with this thick of metal, it would be ideal to have some heat. But I don't have any, I don't think I even have a propane torch right now. Maybe if I set it on these two corners. These two corners. I think that'll work. I think that'll work just lovely. So now we can weld this around here real good, weld these back up, and that's how you put a round peg in a square hole. Yeah, like that. See, our grease zerk is sitting back there. I can put him about like that right there. And that looks pretty good. Okay, it is off just a tad. This side is up. So we need to take a little more out of over there. Okay. I swear that still looks off. Let's try it this way. Yep. Let's see how that can be off that much. Okay, I can check it that way if I could get to where I can read my go by straight edge here. So that's got 1 inch and a little over 1/8. Inch and a little over 1/8. Well, assuming this is straight, yeah, that's pretty straight. According to that, it's pretty straight. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Grease fitting's fine. My little ABS is fine. Cool. Now I'll rotate it, weld each side as I go. I like to do a continuous bead, but yet I don't want to get that too hot and distort. So. Just a little gap. Ouch, this thing quit pulling my hair. No, of course not. I make a nipple out of it. Well, that and I went continuous, but I tried to move quick, and I moved too quickly to penetrate good into the bushing. Alright, a little dressing up, and this one will be ready to fit under the truck. Now, unfortunately, I could maybe do the other end with the bung, but the cutting this end out on the other bar I'm not going to do because of the rain. I do plasma cutting outside because I don't, the fumes gets too rough inside. So let's see if I can do the other one of these. Y'all done seen me do one of these, so anyways, that's got one bar. Pretty well done. Once this cools off, I can put the bushings in and test fit it under the truck. Also, I got to cut those tabs down before I can get it in place. So, okay, got a nice sunny day for a change. think I showed how I done the fixed end of the bar. So I thought I'd show that. Let me fix this little thing here from not hanging around, hopefully. I think I kind of explained it, but I thought I'd show y'all. So we want this. See, I cut the old bar off and smoothed it off to where it can fit like the other one did. So we want the smooth side here. And we want to go approximately halfway around here. And like so. Draw our line around here like so. Go ahead and flip him over. And do the other side. Now, let's see if this looks like we got them even. Here, here, yeah, it's pretty even there. This is not exactly square. I've been working on that, trying to get that squared up some. I may just take and trim it some because I've been grinding on it, and it's still not. I got this one high corner. So let me grab the square. And see if we can't straighten that up a little too. Yeah, there's a little bit of a flange there. Okay. Now I also have this little straight edge that I've been using that is actually a console bracket for a Datsun, of course. But I take this and let it sit on there as my square, and then I can just trim that a little bit like that. Oh, just fall on the ground. See it back here. Yeah, that looks about the same. Okay. go. Now we've got our notches. But this don't just go directly in there. I have to grind the ends out. So I'll take my grinder and taper this down so that this is pretty much down to a peak, and then this will fit in there. So that's kind of a time-consuming process, but you know, part of it. Well, I'm not sure where I left off on this, and not sure if I videoed doing the other end that I done like this or not. I know I showed doing the tapered down one. So we'll recap whether or not. Cut this one off, all that original tubing that was there, the little round tubing, and ground that down smooth. The reason I did that is so that this grease zerk is not up against here and where I'm trying to weld. And also still says ABS right there, but that's minor stuff. So this comes all the way around. We want it to sit around as far as we can right there. So it'll sit like that. You can get to the grease zerk, hopefully. Depends on the orientation of this, but anyway. It's got it up here out of harm's way while I'm welding. Now, the next thing is going to be making sure this is square and centered. Centered is pretty much even it up, eyeballing it. That looks pretty good. I don't remember if I did the other one by clamping it or if I just held it there and welded it. With it held in place, we're going to check the squareness here. Now, that's going to be a little tricky because, well, it doesn't sit flush. So I'm going to scoot it over here flush just for test fitting in here just to see. That looks very, very straight. Very nice. So, I didn't show what it took, but it took a lot of grinding and test fitting and grinding to get it to this point. But it's looking really good now. So I think, let me check the other side, which obviously if one side's square the other one should be, but we're going to check it just for good measure, literally. Oh yeah, that's good and square. So as long as I got that held in there good and tight, I think we'll be fine. I'll tack it and then check it again just to be sure, but so I'm just gonna push that back in there, get him good and centered. Even, same amount on each side. It's not wobbling, it's pretty solid, so would have been a good idea to have my stinger ready. Okay, and turn that. We don't want that tubing in there to make it get off or anything, as long as I got it to where it'll sit in there good like that. Alright, now we're going to tack it. Alright, that's got him held in place. Check him one last time. All I can do is kind of set this up here. Well, we'll set it up here square against that. It's pretty good. Actually, it's off by just a tad. But we don't want him off, so we're gonna that one didn't hold. So that side needs to go out just a smidge. Alright, check him again over here. Not quite that much. Okay, that looks perfect on this side. Yeah, okay. Now we're good.